You know what, tonight I thought I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna save money, I'm gonna walk home. I'm not gonna get the bus. But I didn't factor in the fact that I would walk past the chippy. So I've actually spent more money than I would have on the bus. But in my defense, I don't think you can walk past the chippy at 9:30 at night and not get chips. Hey, when is your next free Saturday? Because I'd love to get dinner. Yes, 100% we should do that. Okay, let me check the diary. Next weekend I've got a 30th, and then the weekend after is a hen, and then I've got a wedding after that, and then the weekend after that I've got 30th on the Friday, hen on the Saturday, and then sorry, what month are we in now? I'm in September now, and my Saturday is in September, 3 30ths and a wedding. So that's not gonna work. Okay, October. October? Yeah, in October I only have 1 30th. No, that's a lie, I have 3. What's going on? Okay, I can do the 2nd Saturday in November. But I can't stay out too late because I have a 30th brunch the next day. Listen, women have come such a long way in the workplace in the last few generations, but I maintain there are things that men can get away with in the office that we could never. A classic example, a few months ago, I had to call a senior man in a different organisation. Okay, we both work for serious places, and I had to call him on his mobile about something important, and this man answered the phone to me while he was on the loo. On the toilet. How do I know that? He told me. He used his words, okay? He didn't do the normal thing, which is not answer the call, or at the very least lie, play it off, tell me he'll call me back. No. I said, hey, is now a good time to chat? And he said, he laughed, and he said, well, you might just hear the sound of flushing. Ew! A good way to understand me as a person is to know that a few months ago somebody pointed out that I avoid things which make me sad, and I thought, that's an incredible observation. I do avoid things which make me sad. That's a character flaw, and I should tackle it. I know what I'll do. I'll watch something sad, which ordinarily I would have avoided because I thought it would make me sad, but I'll watch it and I'll be sad, and then I'll have fixed the problem. What's the saddest thing I can think of? And that is how I ended up on the floor of my flat on a random Monday evening, crying my eyes out, watching Schindler's List. Terrible mistake. That's like deciding to learn how to run and attempting a marathon on your first go. I had to turn it off halfway through because it was too sad. Oh, why are you still single? I hate dating. I hate it. Right? I have just got back from a date with a guy who, 20 minutes in, asked me what my red flags are in men. And I said, specifically, oh, you know, when guys don't take an interest and don't ask me any questions about myself. And he went, and then proceeded to monologue at me for 2 hours straight. 2 hours. He doesn't know a single thing about me. He works in social media. He has no idea I'm on TikTok. Didn't get a word in edgeways. He didn't even know what my job was until about 10 minutes to the end. And if you're thinking, why did you let him go on for 2 hours and not leave? It's a great question. It's a great question. I don't think dying alone would be so bad, to be honest. No, you're right, I'm faking being ill. There's literally nothing wrong with me whatsoever. Don't look at that. Firstly, do you think they let people hang about on the NHS for days on end if they don't actually need to be there? No. Secondly, why on earth would I be faking being ill? For views. If you think I'm faking it for views. Listen, I hate to brag, but I get enough views without having to be in the hospital. Do you know what I mean? And if I was desperate for views and followers, you think that the way I'd do it would be to let them put a midline in my arm and pump myself full of IV antibiotics for 2 weeks? There's easier ways of doing it, I'll tell you that. It's just fucking ignorant, you know? We still have such a long way to go as a society in terms of understanding invisible illness and hidden disability. If you comment stuff like this on anyone's post, like, you are just a dickhead. I don't know what else to tell you. Today I found myself stranded and alone in a back alley in Mallorca. I'll tell you what happened. I got to Mallorca and I was quoted 150 euros to get a taxi to my hotel. And I thought, not on your Nelly, sir, not a chance. So I got the bus, I Googled the route, and I successfully got on the bus, got off the bus. It told me to get off the bus, get a taxi. I thought, fine, we've cut into the journey a significant amount so that the remaining taxi journey won't be so expensive. Great idea. I got off the bus thinking I would be like in a town with a taxi rank. But I was not, and there was no taxi rank to be seen, and there was no other buses. Couldn't Uber. I Googled taxi companies and I walked towards what told me was a taxi company. Didn't exist. It was actually just a hole in a row of buildings. So I'm starting to panic a little bit. But if there's one thing I know in life, is that women support women. Okay, the girls have each other's backs. So I walked past all of the men staring at me with my suitcase and my massive bag. And I walked into the supermarket. It was like a big corner shop, right? Walked into the supermarket and there were 2 female cashiers. And I walked up to them and I said, I'm so sorry. And I'm sorry I'm English. And I'm so sorry I don't speak Spanish. Do you happen to know where I can get a taxi? I'm half an hour away from my hotel. Do you know how I can get a taxi? And this absolute angel looked at me and she went, shall I call you one? Yes, please. Yes, please. She didn't speak much English. Why should she? I said, yes, please. She called me a taxi. And he came within 5 minutes, picked me up, took me to my hotel. I've reunited with my friend. I didn't get murdered. I've had a great dinner. And I think I could do Race Across the World.